So here we are in Kensington Gardens in London today, and I'm going to tell you the dark and disturbing story of the real Peter Pan. So stick with me. Forget everything you ever knew about the Disney story. The original Peter Pan story was called The Little White Bird. It was a 7-day-old baby. He left his house and flew round, and the time he came back his mom had another baby and shut him out. The Little White Bird was a flop, so J.M. Barrie adapted the character. In 1904 it was adapted into a stage play. He wanted to call it The Little Boy Who Hated Mothers, but it was a pose, so it was changed to The Little Boy Who Wouldn't Grow Up.
Ja, dit is wel inderdaad.
It later got adapted into Peter Pan and Wendy. The original is a much more dark and disturbing version than the Disney one. In the book, Peter is a being that is a cross between a bird and a boy. Peter tries to lure the children from the house to Neverland. Peter asks Wendy to kiss him to get a magic necklace. Neverland is a place at war, so Peter is luring the children to come and fight. The boys he lured were called the Lost Boys. In the original book, Peter thins them out, meaning he killed them, preventing them from becoming old. Peter Pan started the war when he cut Hook's hand off. The reason the children don't age in Neverland is because either the pirates kill them or Peter does. The pirates were the previous children who escaped from Peter and are now trying to kill Peter. Peter tricks the children into running away from their families because he hates mothers. When they get to Neverland, they forget everything about their life before. He tricks them by saying they were orphans. This is where we're heading for. Wendy and her brother's parents are devastated because their children have been abducted. Their children fly home, so Peter flies ahead and puts bars on the windows. In the original book, Peter Pan came back years later and abducts Wendy's daughter and then Wendy's granddaughter. In the earlier versions, Peter Pan was even much more evil. Here is the Elfin Oak. It's behind a fence, so it's very difficult to film it. But it's carved with lots of fairies. Between 1928 and 1930, the artist Ivor Innes carved and painted 74 figures into the wood. The comedian Spike Milligan personally funded the restoration of it in the 1960s and then again in the mid-1990s. This board here tells a jolly story about children playing and J.M. Barrie writing about it, but they don't know the real full story, do they? The original Peter Pan, Peter Llewellyn Davis, was a First World War hero, one of 5 boys informally adopted by J.M. Barrie. He struggled with being the inspiration for the character, and in 1920 he threw himself in front of a train in Sloane Square. The boundary stones in Kensington Gardens were reimagined as children's graves. J.M. Barrie created a legend that Peter Pan buried the poor babies that fell out of their prams without their mothers noticing. J.M. Barrie's older brother died in an ice skating accident at the age of 13. His mother made James Barrie dress up in his older brother's clothes and pretend to be him. He married an actress, but the marriage was never consummated and his wife left him for one of his friends. In 1897, J.M. Barrie visits Kensington Gardens, where we are now, and spots 2 boys with their nanny, as in their guardian, not their grandmother. He strikes up a friendship and starts hanging out with the children, sometimes without their mother even knowing. The boys' parents died in 1910 and J.M. Barrie becomes their legal guardian. A letter about their guardianship was forged. The original letter said that the children were supposed to go to somebody called Jenny, and he doctored the letter to make it say Jimmy. The boys were the inspiration for the Little White Bird book, and it was a diary of his obsession with these boys. J.M. Barrie had a favourite boy, Michael. On his 8th birthday, he wrote him a letter which had an ambiguous meaning. On one hand, it could be seen as an innocent birthday letter to a child, and on the other, it could be seen as grooming. In 1921, Michael was in an alleged relationship with a fellow student called Rupert, and they committed suicide together. There's no evidence that J.M. Barrie ever engaged with the boys in a sordid way, but people weren't open to talking about those things in those days. So here we are at the Peter Pan statue in Kensington Gardens in London. J.M. Barrie died of pneumonia in 1977. In the vampire film The Lost Boys, the characters were lost in eternal youth. becoming bang up to date now with the new Alien Earth TV series, which is also produced by Disney. The TV show's characters are the same names as in the original Peter Pan. The island in Alien Earth is called Neverland, and in Alien Earth the researchers are hybrids, children whose consciousness have been adopted and transferred into synthetic bodies called the Lost Boys. There's also themes of immortality and resisting growth. So here we are at the Royal Albert Hall. Last time I was here I was going to see The Cure. If only that was again today.
Black is front is I am the only communicator.
Does anyone know whether this statue is solid gold? Can you let me know in the comments, please? This is Palace Green. It's the most expensive road in London to live up.